Good morning, students. Good morning. Good morning. So today we'll start a new chapter. So as we wait for 2-3 minutes, try to solve this problem. This is there in your assignment 2 also. Sound is audible, right? Voice is audible, right? It's clear, right? Yeah. So as we wait for 2-3 minutes, try to solve this problem. It is there in assignment 2. Already assignment 2 I have posted in the Google Classroom. Solutions are also there, but don't see the solution directly. First you attempt, then see the solution. So try this problem. After that we will start the next chapter. Shravani has already got the answer. 3C she is saying. Shravani, how did you get 3C? What did you do? Can you tell me? Shravani Shekhar. How it is coming 3C? Yeah, correct. They are connected in parallel. But it doesn't look like parallel, right, Shravani? If you see others also, if you look at these 3 capacitors, it looks like series actually, but actually it is in parallel because of these wires. Because of these wires here, these 3 capacitors are actually in parallel. So you have to find out why it is in parallel. So you have to try to redraw the circuit. So whenever you get a complicated circuit, whenever you get a confusing circuit, try to redraw the circuit. Try to redraw and make it in a simple way. Then it will be easy to find whether it is in series or parallel, and then you can find the equivalent. It is not in series, Rufia. It is not in series. If these wires were not there, if this wire was not there, and if this wire was not there, then it is in series. Okay, Rufia? Like this, it is in series. Then the answer will be C by 3. C by 3. 1 by C plus 1 by C plus 1 by C. Then you have to take reciprocal. But because I am putting these wires, here one wire, how did I connect it? Here one wire, and here one wire. Because of this, now it is no longer in series. So everyone try. Only one girl, Shravani, has done. What about other students? So let us try to check why it is in parallel. Okay. So what you do, you mark these points. This point is already connected to A. Huh? So this point and this point are same only because this is just a conducting wire. In conducting wire, you know potential everywhere should be same. So this point and this point are potentially same. this point and this point are also same. Now let us call this point C, this point B. Now look here. Between A and C, you have one capacitor. So this is terminal A, right? And between C. So this is terminal C. So between C and A, there is one capacitor. The first one. This is the first one. Okay, then you see this capacitor is between where? C and D. So this capacitor is between C. C matlab this point only. Right? C matlab this point only. And it is connected to D. But look carefully. D is going to which point? D is going to which point? Here. So since D is connected to A, D and A will be same potential. Similarly, this capacitor you see. This is the second capacitor. Third capacitor you see. It is connected between D and B. D matlab this point. So D and B. But B is connected to where? Look carefully. B is connected to C. So B and C are same point. So B and C are potentially same. So it is connected to B and B is connected to C. So now you can see that these three capacitors are in parallel. Since it is in parallel, total will be 3C. Okay. So I hope everybody understood. If anyone wants me to repeat, just tell me quickly. After 10 minutes, don't tell me, because now I'll start next chapter. Everybody understood? Sanjay, look here. These three capacitors are given. These wires are connected. Okay. So right now it is difficult to check whether it is in series or parallel. So what you do, you redraw the circuit. Sanjay, redraw the circuit. So first capacitor is between A and C. First capacitor is between A and C. Second capacitor is between C and D. C and D. But you see carefully, Sanjay. D is connected to A. Since it is a conducting wire, potential will be same only. So D and A are same point. D and A are basically same point because they are connected to each other directly. So directly if you connect 2 points with a conducting wire, potentially they are same. If one is 10 volt, other also will be 10 volt. Similarly, third capacitor is between D and B. Third capacitor is between D and it is B. And B, if you check carefully, is connected to C. So B is connected. If you call this point B, then B is connected to C. So Sanjay, if you look carefully, these three capacitors are in parallel now. Understood, Sanjay? Okay. Now they may sometimes they may add one more capacitor here like this and one more capacitor here like this. Then they may ask you, then what you should do? Put one more capacitor here. Put one more capacitor here. So this is 3C. Then 3C and C will be in series. So for this diagram, if they want, then total will be how much? 1 by C. This is also C. This is also C. Plus this total is how much? 3C. And this is 1 by C. So like that you can solve in exam any question that comes. Okay, students. So we will start the next chapter now. So the name of the chapter is Current Electricity. Current Electricity. Okay. Venn diagram generator is not there for the coming syllabus, for the present second PU syllabus. Okay. Last syllabus it was there. So no need to waste our time right now. Anyways, it is a very obsolete generator. in fourth chapter, we will study about cyclotron, which is a very good generator, which we can know, which is a present day kind of device. So we will concentrate on that one. After finishing the syllabus, if we get more time, then I will do Venn diagram generator also. Okay, Amina. Now concentrate on the next chapter, current electricity. Till now, in the first chapter and second chapter, all the charges we considered were at static, were at rest. Even in the case of capacitor, we only considered when the capacitor is fully charged. We did not consider the time when it was getting charged. When it is getting charged, that time current is flowing. But once it is completely charged, matlab when the voltage across the capacitor equals the voltage of the battery. Remember, no, putting air inside the tire. So when the pressure inside equals your pressure, then the charging will stop. So we considered even in the case of capacitor, the only case where the capacitor is already charged. And in the previous chapter, Gauss law, if you remember, all the line charge, sheet of charge, spherical charge, all of them were static. All of them were at rest. But now we have to study about charges in motion. Charges in motion. And when a charge is in motion, it constitutes what we call current. So the first thing we should define is current. So the definition of current, physically if you ask, in words if you ask, the definition of current is rate of flow of net charge. Rate of flow of net charge. Okay, net charge. So there has to be this word net. Likita, net charge. Okay, so since charge is can be positive, can be negative. Current can be also positive or negative depending on how the charges are moving, in what direction they are moving. So be careful about that. So we have to calculate how much net charge flows and then divide by time. Why divide by time? Because it is rate. Okay. So that is the definition of current, rate of flow of net charge. Now, suppose you want to know the formula, because in physics we need formula. Without formula, how will we be able to calculate the current? So what you do, imagine some cross-sectional area. This is your imagine. Okay, imagine. So imagine some cross-sectional area and suppose a net charge delta Q. Delta Q is the net charge which flows through this cross-section perpendicularly. Okay, and time taken is delta T. Time taken is delta T. Then we define current as how much charge flows divided by how much time it took for the charge to flow. Don't simply say charge by time like that. First, you should calculate how much charge is crossing. How much charge is crossing some area. Then divide by that time. That is called the current through the area. Through the area. Okay. Now, if same charge keeps flowing per second, first second 2 coulomb passed, next second 2 coulomb passed, third second 2 coulomb passed, fourth second 2 coulomb passed. So if same charge keeps on flowing per second, then we call it steady current. So in steady current, what will happen? In steady current, current will be constant. Current will be constant, matlab what? Same amount of charge will flow per second. This should be constant, means this should be same for equal intervals of time. Correct na? How in first PU velocity, you used to write velocity as what? Displacement by time. And what do you mean by constant velocity? Equal displacements in equal intervals of time. Same thing, if current is steady, current, then it means equal charges will flow in equal intervals of time. Don't say equal displacements. This is not velocity. This is current. Okay, so write down till here quickly. But sometimes equal charges may not flow in equal intervals of time. Sometimes it may not be like that. It may be alternating current also, the current which comes to our houses through these wires given by the government. So that is alternating current. So sometimes equal charges may not flow per second. Just like when your car is moving, it is not compulsory that you should cover equal displacements in equal intervals of time. In that case, though, how will you stop? You have to hit the building and stop. No. So when you try to start from your house, when you try to stop in your office or in your school or in your college, you have to first increase the speed, decrease the speed. So most of the time the speed changes. Similarly, the current may change. If current changes with time, then we have to calculate instantaneous current. So this is steady current. So instantaneous current, how will we define instantaneous current? How can we write formula? You already know from first view. How do you write instantaneous velocity? Now the differentiation also you have studied. Quickly tell me. dq by dt. Very good. So you instantaneous current will be dq by dt. So students, if somebody will give you charge versus time graph, okay, some graph, something like this, let's say. Okay, then you can calculate the current by calculating the slope of charge versus time graph. Okay, this is mainly for entrance only, but now also you can understand what is there. You already know dy by dx is the slope of yx graph. So if you want to know current at this point, you just draw a tangent, then calculate this angle theta. Okay, then tan of that angle will be the slope of the charge time graph, which will be current, because current is dq by dt. What should be the unit of current? Let us talk about unit now. So the SI unit of current will be, charge will be coulomb and time will be second. So it is coulomb per second. Coulomb per second. However, while writing, we write this as ampere, because so many scientists has done so many great works. So to remember them, we give some units in their name. Okay. So coulomb per second is the unit, ampere, SI unit. Okay. Fine. Please write down this part carefully. Let us do one simple problem just to apply this formula. Once I write hashtag, it is only for entrance. Look carefully. So charge is flowing like this, let's say. So this is the function for the charge in some wire or something. They are asking you to find current at t equal to 2 seconds. So pata we can do now, because differentiation you are expert now. In first PU the physics teacher only taught. In first PU physics teacher only taught. No? Okay. So how to find current? Differentiation of this will be how much? 4t. Right? 2 will come out. Differentiation of t square will be 2t. Then here 3 will come out. Differentiation of t will be 1. Differentiation of 4 is 0, because 4 is constant. Then at what time they want? At t equal to 2 seconds. So put t equal to 2 seconds. 4 into 2 will be 8. 8 plus 3 will be 11. Units, if you don't write, you get 0 in board exam. So simple problem. Also, done. This is very easy. Okay, you already know how to do differentiation, right? Also notice one thing, all of you. If I cross multiply, and then if I integrate, cross multiply and then integrate, you will get this is the total charge, right? Because dq represents small charge. dq represents small charge. Okay. So if you integrate small charge, you will get total charge. So total charge flowing will be integral of I dt from 0 to t, let's say. So this also you try to remember. Now, if dy by dx, is called slope, then what is integral of y dx called? If this is called slope, what is integral of y dx called? This is also taught in first PU. Work done, you remember. Integral f dx. Area, very good. What about other students? So this integral y dx is area under yx graph. Okay, so these basic things you should know. Okay, so if somebody will give you current and time graph, not charge and time graph, be careful. If somebody will give you current and time graph, how will you calculate charge? Area under current time graph. Okay, area under current time graph. By the way, if current was constant, then you can take this current out. So if current is constant, if it is steady current, then you can take current outside. Then if you take current outside, you will get integral of dt from 0 to t. So that will give you simply current into time. So this formula can be used when current is constant. Then you can take it outside. If it is not constant, then you have to integrate. Integration also they will teach in mathematics, so you don't have to worry. Write fast. Now, it is important to understand that since charge can be positive or negative, current can be also positive or negative depending on the direction. So look carefully here. So look carefully, all of you. Okay, so note. Suppose you have some cross-sectional area like this. Okay, and through this cross-sectional area, suppose +2 coulomb is flowing like this. +2 coulomb. And here +1 coulomb is flowing. Both in 1 second. In 1 second. So in 1 second, 2 coulomb passes. In 1 second, another 1 coulomb passes. In the same 1 second. Then somebody, if they ask you find the current, average current, then how will you calculate? You have to calculate the net charge. So the net charge will be how much? Who is this? So the net charge will be how much? Net charge flowing will be 2 coulomb plus 1 coulomb. So it will be 3 coulomb divided by time. What is the time? In 1 second. So 1 second. So answer is 3 ampere. Okay. So from here, you please remember that current, direction of current is always taken along the flow of positive charge. So this is convention. Convention matlab rule. Convention means rule. It's okay, no problem, Neeraj. Try to concentrate. So convention means rule. Rule matlab you have to follow it because somebody started. Once somebody started, everybody will follow. Otherwise, what will happen? Confusion. So look here. In what direction we will assume current is? Current will be taken always in the direction of the flow of positive charges. That is, historically it was done like that. So if 2 coulomb plus 2 coulomb is passing like this, plus 1 coulomb is passing like this, total current will be 3 ampere. Why 3 ampere? Total charge is 3 coulomb per time. Time is 1 second. So 3 ampere in what direction? This direction. But suppose minus 2 coulomb is passing like this, minus 2 coulomb, and minus 1 coulomb is passing like this in 1 second. In 1 second. Okay. If they say in 2 seconds, then divide by 2 seconds, ma. What is there? So then current will be how much? Total charge how much is passing? 2 coulomb, 1 coulomb. So 3 coulomb. Magnitude will be 3 coulomb. Magnitude will be 3 coulomb. By time taken is 1 second. So current will be 3 ampere, but direction will be this side. This side, not this side. Why? Because current is taken in the direction of flow of where? Positive charges. Understood? So if negative charges are going here, we will take current here. While calculating the magnitude, you divide the total charge by the total time. But while calculating the direction, you have to find opposite to the flow of negative charge. So current will be, write down somewhere, current will be in the direction of flow of positive charge, as I have written. And it will be opposite to the direction of negative charge. That is historically done. So now, if you have understood this, okay, write fast. Done? Okay. Now, listen carefully. One interesting question I will give. Through some area, let's say plus 2 coulomb is going like this. Plus 2 coulomb is going like this. And minus 1 coulomb is going like this. Okay. There are two ways to do this. First method is find the total charge. Which is greater? 2 coulomb is greater than minus 1 coulomb. So total charge crossing will be 1 coulomb this side. So total charge will be plus 2 coulomb minus 1 coulomb divided by, let's say time is 1 second. Then it will be 1 second. So current will be 1 coulomb by 1 second, which is 1 ampere. This is one method of doing. Another method is you try to find the current due to this direction. Okay. So total charge, current due to this you find. Current due to this only. So current due to this will be 2 coulomb by 1 second. Since positive charges are going here, current will be taken in what direction? Same direction. So current will be taken in the same direction. Here. So it will be 2 ampere this side. This is current due to which flow? This is current due to this part. But this is also passing. So let us calculate this current. This current, what is the magnitude? 1 coulomb by time, 1 second, which is 1 ampere. But it is what charge? Negative charge. So if negative charge is going this way, current will be taken opposite. So current will be this way. So this is very important to remember. If positive charges are going like this, we take current in the same direction. If negative charges are going like this, negative charges, then current we take in the opposite direction. So current is taken opposite to the flow of negative charge. That is the convention, students. You have to try to remember. So now these two are the currents through this area. This is current due to the first one. This is current due to the second one. So if total current, if somebody will ask, then question is whether I should add or subtract. Check the direction. The direction are same or opposite. Directions are same or opposite. Opposite. So you have to subtract. So it will be 2 ampere minus 1 ampere, which will be 1 ampere. And since this one is bigger, total current will be in this direction. So you can do this way, you can do this way. I know most of you are saying, sir, this is better. Short is always, students will like. But please remember, they may ask you find current due to this also. Find current due to this. Okay. So write fast. Done? Everyone done? Okay. So what is the main thing again? Remember, current is taken in the direction of flow of positive charge. So if positive charges are going here, current will be there only. But if negative charges are going here, current will be opposite. So while adding, you have to subtract. Subtract because this is opposite to this. Does this mean current is vector? Does it mean current is vector? Does it mean current is vector? One more question for your board exam. Is current vector? So if you see, it looks like vector, no? It looks like vector. It has magnitude, it has direction. And while adding, we are checking, see, if it is in same direction, we are adding. Opposite direction, we are subtracting. So it very much looks like vector. Very much it looks like vector. But you have to be very careful that current may be having direction. See, many things have direction. Heat flow, heat. When heat flows in a wire, heat also has direction from higher temperature to lower temperature. Similarly, current is taken in the direction of flow of what charge? Positive charge. And you all know positive charge moves from higher potential to lower potential. Everybody remembers or not? If this is high potential, if this is low potential, electric field is from where to where? High potential to low potential. So if you put positive charges here, positive charges will feel force in this direction. So positive charges will move in this direction. And if positive charges are moving in this direction, then we will say current is also in this direction. So make another note you make. Current is always from high potential to low potential. Current is always from higher potential to lower potential. So you may think current has a direction, but actually it is wrong, because if there is two wires like this, let's say, if current here is I1, current here is I2. Sometimes I write capital, sometimes I write small. Okay, that is my wish. So if currents are coming like this, here the total current passing will be I, and that will be I1 plus I2. Okay, students. So you just, because if 2 coulomb is passing, if 2 coulomb is coming per second, if 2 coulomb is coming, 3 coulomb is coming, then here how much will go? 5 coulomb will go, because in this point charges cannot accumulate. Okay, na? So please remember this part. So while finding the total current, we don't do root over like that. I1 square plus I2 square plus 2 I1 I2 cos theta, where theta is this. So we don't apply this formula. In other words, current does not obey. So the answer is no, since current does not obey vector addition law. So current does not obey vector addition law. It just adds algebraically. It just adds algebraically. Just like charges. Charges also add algebraically, right? There can be positive charge, there can be negative charge. So current can be also positive or negative. But that doesn't mean you have to add them according to root over formula. Okay. So now, if you have done this, we will come to one very important concept. And the concept is of resistance. So look carefully now. Okay, listen carefully. Imagine I give you a wire. I'll be asking a question, so listen carefully. Imagine I give you a wire which I zoom. I show you big. Okay. Now everything is in this world is made up of atoms. So this wire is also made up of atoms. And since it is solid, it will be strongly bonded. There will be strong bonds. These are your bonds. Whatever bonds, metallic bond, covalent bond, I don't care. Now, if it is a conductor, if it is a conductor, then what happens is the outermost electron becomes free. So the outermost electron becomes free. So these red colors are representing the outermost electrons. Okay, so these red colors are representing the outermost electron. Sometimes the atom may give one electron, sometimes it may give two electrons depending on the kind of material. So now, once this atom loses its outermost electron, it will become what charged? It will become positively charged or negatively charged, or will it be neutral only after losing its outermost electron? It will become positively charged. So these atoms are now called ions, positive ions. Okay, and this structure that you see, that structure is called lattice. Lattice. Now these free electrons which are there, they are free, so they can move inside the wire, right? Because of the surrounding temperature, and they will keep colliding with each other, they will keep colliding with these atoms, so they keep moving inside the wire. Now my question is, current is flow of charge. Electrons have charge, electrons have negative charge, matlab they have charge, and you can see these electrons are moving, so there should be current in this wire. But when you buy a wire, do you get current already in the wire? When you buy a wire, already there will be current in the wire, or what? No. Then if there was current already in the wire, then what is the use of switching on and off? So my question is, if electrons are inside, the free electrons, if they are moving, then that should have given you current. Why there is no current? Can you tell me? Very good. No, Tanuj, no potential will come later. I was expecting this answer will come from some students. Some students will say there is no potential difference. So potential difference is needed. Why? That is my question. No, because electrons are moving already. Potential difference is needed to move the electrons, Tanuj. Potential difference is needed for the electrons to feel a force because of the electric field, so that they can move and they can give current. But here already electrons are moving. Why do I need potential difference? As many of you have already answered, there is no current because these electrons move randomly. Okay, that means if you take any cross section here, imagine any cross section here, like let me draw this side, this cross section. If 10 electrons are coming this way, 10 electrons will be going this way also, because it is random. Random means what? Random means you cannot predict the direction. You cannot tell, sir, here 100 is going, here 1 is coming. If you say 100 is going here, 1 electron is coming here, then you are saying this direction is more important. This direction is preferred. Preferred matlab liked by the electrons. But it is random. Random means electrons move in all direction with equal probability. They like all directions equally. So if I say 10 electrons are going here, 10 electrons will go here also. So this will create current this side because it's negative charge. This will create current this side. So the total current will be 0. Artha, everybody understood or not? So the reason why you don't get current is because the electrons in the wire are moving randomly. They don't have any direction in their life. Simply they are colliding and moving like that. Okay. By the way, now listen carefully. Now, so right now I know there is no current. Right now there is no current, even if electrons are moving, because they are moving randomly. But suppose I give them a potential difference, as Tanuj was saying. Potential difference V, suppose I give. Listen carefully. Potential difference V. Then what happens? All these electrons will feel a force towards the positive terminal, right? This is plus, this will be charged positively, this will be charged negatively. So the electrons will feel a force this side. Every electron will feel a force this side. They will feel a force. So what is happening is, before they were moving like this. Now suddenly when you apply a battery, they will feel a force this side. This side, matlab opposite to electric field. Electric field inside will be from plus to minus. Yes or no? Electric field is from plus to minus, but electrons are negatively charged. And already so many times I have told you, negative charge will feel force opposite to electric field. So all these electrons which are negatively charged, they will feel force in this direction. Now my question, what I used to think when I was studying in school is, I used to think that, oh, the moment you connect a battery, all these electrons will run this side, like that. Is it like that? Will all of them go zing like that, straight like that? No, very good. So you people are smarter than I was. Okay. I used to think the moment you connect battery, all the electrons will go boom like that. They will go towards the positive terminal. That is not correct, because there is positive ions sitting here. These positive ions are there or not? They are there. So they will keep colliding. So the motion will look like this. Try to imagine. No one will show you. So try to concentrate. Initially it was like this. So when I move my hand like this, can you say my hand is going this side? When I do like this, can you say my hand is going this side? Can you say my hand is going this side? No, it's random. As much positive is there, that much negative displacement. Positive displacement, negative displacement. So there is overall no displacement. But when you apply electric field, this randomness will still be there. But because there is electric field, which side? This side. Because electric field is here, all these electrons will feel force this side. So what will happen if it starts like this? Look carefully. So they will slowly drift. We use the word drift. They will slowly drift this side, very, very slowly, because they keep colliding. Are you understanding the concept? Put one thumbs up if you understood. Yeah. So do not think all of them will go like that. So they keep colliding. They keep colliding. However, because of this electrostatic force, they feel a constant force this side. So they go this side, they collide, maybe then again they go this side, collide, again they go this side, collide, again they go this side. So there is a slow drift. So now, if I imagine this cross section, I will see a net flow of charge this side. This side. And since it is negative charge, I know there will be current this side. So there will be current this side. I don't have space to draw here, because if I draw here, it will be very messy. Okay. So current will be this side. How do I show you? Let me try. Okay. So current will flow this way. Some current I will flow. Okay, students. So it is because of this slow drift, very slow drift. We will calculate the drift velocity also. Don't worry. And you will come to know it is a very small number. So because of that drift, because the electrons are drifting this side, and electrons are negative charge. And what is the convention? Convention is current is opposite to flow of negative charge. So electrons will flow like this in the circuit. Okay, so in the circuit, electrons will flow like this. Electrons will flow like this. But current will be like this. So that's why if you remember in school days, they show current from positive terminal to negative terminal. But actually the current is due to flow of electrons, which are in opposite direction. So my question is now, why this current is steady? When you apply a steady voltage, constant voltage, you will get a constant current. But my question is why is the current constant? Because there is a force on the electron. Force is there, right? Force is there, QE. Charge of electron is E in magnitude. So this is the force. And whenever there is force, Newton Baba, what he told, Newton Baba, he told there will be acceleration. There will be acceleration. And if there is acceleration, what will happen? Final velocity will be U plus AT. So with time, the final velocity should keep increasing. So if velocity should keep increasing, current should be more and more and more and more and more. Why current is becoming steady? Why current becomes constant? Because of these collisions. Because of collisions. So because of collisions of electrons, visible, right? Yes. Because of collisions of electrons with lattice. Lattice matlab these positive ions. Because of collision of electrons with lattice, current becomes steady. If these collisions was not there, sorry, if these collisions was not there, students, the current will keep increasing. It will become infinity. Current will become infinity if these collisions was not there. So it is something like this. So the electrons feel a force because of the battery's electric field. Once you apply battery, there will be electric field. Potential difference will be there. Potential difference matlab electric field. Electric field matlab force. Force matlab acceleration. Acceleration matlab velocity should increase. Artha aita? So electrons velocity will keep increasing. So if nothing was there, velocity will keep increasing. Infinity it will become. So current will become infinity. However, because of these collisions, every time it will accelerate, it will collide. Tuck, then come down. Then tuck, come down. Tuck, come down. Tuck, come down. So the current can never become infinity. If you calculate the average of this, you will get a constant value, which we will do in the class maybe next week. But I hope you all understood why current doesn't become infinity even when there is a force. Even when there is a force. That is a very important question that students should have. None of the students will have. If I simply teach what is there in board, simply if I teach, no, none of you will get that doubt also. So try to understand, because there is battery, there will be force. Because of force, the velocity should keep increasing. Why it is becoming constant? Because of these collisions. So it is like a resistive force, which will try to cancel this force. Okay, so the net force in a way is zero, so it moves with constant velocity. But the average will be constant, which we will discuss. So what is the cause of resistance if I ask? So what is the cause of resistance if somebody will ask for 1 mark? What is the cause of resistance? Cause. And the cause of resistance is collisions. Okay, collisions are the cause. Deepika understood, right? So what is the cause of the collisions? The cause of the, sorry, what is the cause of the resistance? Collisions. If this collision was not there, electrons will keep moving faster and faster and faster because of the acceleration. Okay, so nice thing we learned today. Now we need to try to create a formula for resistance. Okay, we need to create a formula for resistance. So look carefully, all of you. So if I give you a conductor of this shape, listen carefully. If this cross-sectional area is A and this length is L, okay, and terminals are this. Terminals are this means I will connect battery here. Rohit, why are you writing Ohm's law right now, ma? So if I connect a battery here, then there will be current, right? But whether there is battery or no battery, this wire will have some resistance. Matlab, if current flows, if you connect battery, this wire will try to oppose the current. and how it will oppose through those collisions. Okay. Now, experimentally, people have found that the resistance of a wire, experimentally they have found, is directly proportional to this area. So what they did is, if you double this area, if you double the area, they found the resistance is also doubled. And to do that, they have found from Ohm's law, which we will discuss later. So with increase in area, the resistance increases, and it is inversely proportional to the length of the wire. So if the length of the wire is more, resistance of the wire is less. Sorry, it is directly, I did ulta. So it is proportional to length and inversely proportional to area. Okay. So this, how they find is like this. Okay, let me explain. So they take many blocks like this. Okay. So what they do, first they find resistance of this. Let us say it is R. Then they connect this one with this block with this block. So when they do like that, they find that the total resistance now is 2R. You can also feel it is 2R, because if this is R, it is like series. But that series combination and all we'll study later. So you can see the total resistance is 2R, but length is how much? Before the length was L, now the length is 2L. So what did you learn? If length is doubled, resistance also is doubled. So that is how they do experimentally. So if length is doubled, resistance is doubled. And same way, you can decrease the area. You can cut this block. And if you decrease the area, the resistance becomes large. Okay. So if I write equal to now, a constant should come, constant of proportionality. And that constant is called resistivity. So this rho is called resistivity. Okay, so this is the formula for resistance, rho L by A. Please remember, this is not density. For density also we use this same symbol. Be careful, this is called resistivity of the wire. Okay, now answer this simple question. Suppose I have a wire whose resistivity is rho and resistance is R. Listen carefully. I have a wire whose resistivity is rho, resistance is R. Now I cut the wire into equal parts. Can you tell me what will be the new resistivity? What will be the resistivity? What will be the resistivity? It will be same. Okay, so do not think resistivity will be half, because it came as a what? It came as a constant of proportionality. So if length is half, look here, this proportionality you see. If length is half, resistance will be half. So this, if this is half, this will be half. So 2 will cancel, resistivity will be same. So remember, resistivity will be same, resistance will be half. Okay. Please keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. Okay. Now they will ask in exam on what factors resistance and resistivity depends. So let us quickly understand that. Factors on which resistivity depends. Resistivity. Okay. So the answer is, the first, it depends on material. First, it depends on material. Second, it depends on temperature. Don't write length and area, because resistivity came as a constant of proportionality. So if y is proportional to x, whatever comes will be constant. It will not depend on y and x. Yes, it may depend on some other factors, but it will not depend on y and x. Similarly, resistivity came as a proportionality in this formula. Right? So resistivity will not depend on these guys. Resistivity will not depend. Now listen carefully. Why it depends on temperature? Why it depends on temperature? Let us try to think. No, it doesn't depend on area. Sorry. Rohit, Kumar, Likita, just now I told by changing the length or the area, your resistance will change because it came as a constant of proportionality. That's why you have to know the concept of proportionality. If you know the concept of proportionality, then you will know that if something comes as a constant of proportionality, then it does not depend on y and x. So here resistance is proportional to L by L. So this, if you change this and this will change. Resistivity is a constant which does not depend on length and area. Why it depends on temperature? Yeah, some students are answering. Temperature increases randomness. Okay. Collision increases when collision increases is not a very nice word. So let us try to see what happens. Temperature increase, K increase. So let us try to understand what happens. Remember, right, that lattice. So that lattice is there. Electrons are moving. So what is the cause of resistance? I told these electrons keep colliding, tuck, 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 tuck like that. While moving in the wire, they collide with the ions. Now, when you increase the temperature, this lattice will vibrate more because temperature will increase the internal energy. So this lattice will vibrate more. So imagine there is a market where people are standing like this, and you are trying to cross the market. So if people are standing like this and you are trying to cross the market, you will collide with them, tuck, tuck, tuck like that. But if the people start doing like this, what will happen? As you are moving, you will collide, tuck, 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 like that. So since the rate of collision, some of you wrote collision, I don't like that. You have to mention rate of collision. So the reason why with temperature resistivity changes is because please write down, with increase in temperature, the rate of collision. Rate of collision matlab what again? Before, if it was colliding tuck, tuck, tuck like that, with increase in temperature, it will become tuck, 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 tuck like that. So the rate of collision, how many collisions occur per second? So the rate of collision increases, which increases the resistance and therefore the resistivity, which increases the resistivity. Okay, students, so keep this concept in your mind. So factors on which resistivity depends is material. So some material obviously will contribute more electrons, some material will contribute less electrons, some material will be able to vibrate more, some will be able to vibrate less. So depending on material, resistivity will change. Also, it depends on temperature. So if you go from rubber to gold to silver to aluminum, resistivity will change. And because of change in resistivity, resistance will change, because resistance is what? Rho L by A. Now, they may also ask in exam factors on which resistance depends. So if they ask factors on which resistance depend, then you have to write material, temperature, because see, resistance depends on resistivity also. Now resistance depends on this, right? So if this will change, this will also change. If this number will change, this number will change. So resistivity depends on material and temperature. So resistance also will depend on material and temperature. Plus it will depend on length, this length, and area of cross section. Okay, so please mention this quickly. Then we will discuss one very nice question. First you write. So this should be not rho, this should be R. So read the question carefully before writing the answer. Sometimes they will say resistivity and you will write answer for resistance. Sometimes they will say resistance and you will write answer for resistivity. So those mistakes you don't do. Just remember, resistivity is a constant of proportionality. So it will depend on other factors, but not length and area. Okay. Okay. So now try to understand that same material, same conductor can also have different resistance depending on the terminals. So let me do one very nice question. Look carefully. Okay, by the way, syllabus for the coming PTE will be electric charge and field, potential and capacitance, and even current electricity, whatever I will teach today. Okay, so very basics of current electricity. So some around 5-7 questions will be there from current electricity for NEET people. 5-7 questions will be there from today's concept, and remaining questions will be there from electric charge and field also will be there. Because no, how many questions will I give from same chapter, ma? So I have to include the first chapter also. So start preparing, and please do the assignment 2. Assignment 2 I have already shared with all the students in the Google Classroom. Now, let us say I have a conductor which is of this shape. This shape. Okay, so suppose this is my conductor. Let us say this is L, this side is L. Let me write not L, let me write A, this is B, and this is C. Now listen carefully. Let us draw this part also. Now suppose I want between these two terminals. Okay, suppose I want resistance between these two terminals. So suppose I connect battery here. Then while calculating the resistance, you have to be very careful. Formula is what? Rho L by A. Those who know the formula, very good. I have seen many of you know this formula. Those who don't know, memorize. 10 times, 20 times you have to say, because this is an experimental fact. So resistance is rho L by A. Now, if you connect the battery here, current will flow like this. If current will flow like this, this length should be parallel to the current. Parallel. And this area should be perpendicular to the current. You remember, right? This was the area. When current flows like this area you have to choose. So area should be perpendicular to current, and length should be parallel to current. Okay, students? If you understand that, then answer this question now. What will be resistance between these two? Between these two means current is coming like this. So rho, this length I have to use, which is A, and this area. What will be this area? Length into breadth. So B into C. So this will be the resistance between A and B. This is between A and B. Now for same wire, suppose I ask between these two. First you write this. First you write this quickly. Suppose I ask between this and the back side. So here and here. Let me call this CD. So let me ask now resistance for same block. See, block is same. Conductor is same only. But now I am asking between these two. What will be the resistance? Rho, current will go like this. So this L should be parallel to current. So current will go like this, means this is the length. This length matlab B divided by this area, this front area I have to use. This front area will be how much? This is A, this is C. So front area will be A into C. Then let me ask between these two. Let me call this EF. What will be resistance between E and F? What will be resistance between these two? Now, if I say between these two, if I put battery here, current will flow like this, or maybe like this, right? So if current will flow like this, this L, again I am saying this L should be parallel to current. So parallel to current will be this side. This side is how much? C. So it will be rho C by this area, upper area. So this upper area will be what? Length is A, breadth is B. Okay, so can you quickly see this formula and tell me which is the largest resistance? Largest resistance. Largest resistance means length should be maximum, area should be minimum. Then this will be maximum. So which is the maximum resistance? Where is the length maximum? Length is maximum here, and this area is minimum. So this is minimum area, and this is maximum length. So this resistance will be maximum. Okay. After that, which is the second length, B. So this will be second. So this will be largest. This will be smaller, and this will be smallest. Why this will be smallest? Because see, smallest length. This length is smallest, minimum, but area is maximum. So this area is maximum. So if you divide by maximum and multiply with minimum, answer will be minimum. So here resistance will be minimum, here resistance will be maximum. All these questions can be there. So make sure you understand carefully. Along diagonal, it will be more tricky because the area will keep increasing. So since area will keep increasing, we cannot write the formula rho L by A. So we have to divide into thin sections and then we have to integrate. Okay, Naveen? Again, that is JA advanced. So we will be doing it, don't worry. I will also find resistance of this kind of wire. Okay, Naveen, this kind of wire, where you can see the area is not constant anymore. So the area is increasing. So for this, you cannot directly write rho L by A. Which A will you write? Area is increasing, nah? So you have to divide this into small parts. Every part is in series. So you can find resistance of one part, then integrate. That is for only for JA advanced. Okay, first you finish this. So please remember, resistance is the property of a wire due to which it opposes the flow of current. That is why the current doesn't become infinite. If resistance was not there, current will be infinite. I have already explained. No resistance, no collision. No collision, electrons will keep moving faster. So very soon the velocity will reach very high value. So current will become infinite. Mathematically at least. But every wire has resistance. Don't worry. Now, we will talk about something very important called current density. Symbol we write J. Current density. Now, density alone, if I say, what does it mean? Mass by volume, right? All of you know this density only if I say mass by volume. Very good, Livita has answered. Similarly, if I say charge density, it means charge by volume. If I say simply charge density, it is charge by volume. If I say linear charge density, it is charge by length. Like that word we have. However, current is not something which you can put in a volume. Yes or no? Current is not potato or tomato. Not potato, tomato you can put in some volume. Water you can put in some volume, water. Then you can divide mass and volume and then you can talk about density of water. But current is something which flows, which continuously flows. If the circuit is closed, it will continuously flow. So when current flows, suppose I current flows, that means some charges, some positive charges are going. There will be some area through which they will go. So if you divide this current with this area, okay, provided the flow is perpendicular to the area, then we call this current density. Current density. For 1 mark, how to write in exam? Simple. Current per unit area. Current per unit area. But which area again? It is not like surface charge density. I don't think it is surface charge density, ma. Surface charge density means what? There is a surface and charge is sitting there. Charge is sitting there. So you divide the charge by the area, that is called surface charge density. This is different. Current cannot sit somewhere. Current has to flow. So when current is flowing, you can always imagine some area. You can always imagine some area through which current is flowing. Current per unit area. That area is what we call current density. Current density. Okay. Here you can mention when current flows perpendicular to the area. See, this kind of thing, no, many teachers will write, okay, current flows. But actually current flows is a stupid thing to write. Current is what? Yeah, similar. Manasvi, it is like flux actually. Correct only. But remember, when I say flux, the electric field, they are imaginary. If I have a static charge, Manasvi, concentrate. If you have a static charge, you get electric field lines. Those electric field lines are our imagination. To understand how electric field looks like, we have created this concept of electric field lines. These are real charges. If they flow in your body, no, nice electric dance you will do. So please understand, current electric field formula may look similar, but they are different in the sense that electric field lines are imaginary, but electric current is very, you can touch it because it is flow of something. Current is flow of something. Charge is carried by electrons. Electrons is all over your body, is inside the atoms of your body. So electrons are real, you can tangible, you can touch them. But electric field lines are conceptual. They are mathematical entity, mathematical objects which we created for our understanding. But definition is similar. You are correct, Manasvi. Okay. So what is current density? Current per unit area. When the current flows perpendicular to the area. Now, if you ask me the SI unit, without wasting time, quickly, current is ampere, area is meter square. So you can write ampere per meter square. Ampere per meter square. Okay. Now, look carefully here. If I cross multiply, I can write current as J into A. If I cross multiply, I can write J into A. Now, look here. If I see this definition, I have a chance now, as a suppose, imagine I am the first one to think about current density. Think like that. I am the first scientist thinking about this concept. So when I see this formula, I get an idea. I realize that I can make this a vector now. I can make this a vector because you know area is already a vector. Whose direction where do we take? Quickly tell me. Where is the direction of area vector? Oh, if this is the surface, where is the area vector of this surface? Direction. Gauss law you forgot, huh? Gauss law. Yeah, it is normal. It is normal to the surface. So if this is the surface, it is perpendicular to the surface. So you know this area is already a vector and direction of that is here. This is area vector. So since I know current is scalar, but area is vector, and you can see a product here, I can make current, this quantity, a vector whose direction will be taken along current. That is again convention. So if current is flowing this side, I will take current density this side. Then I can write the same formula like this now. J bar dot A bar. No change. Why no change? Because these two vectors are in same direction. Since they are in same direction, you know from dot product, A bar dot B bar is AB cos theta. Yes or no? So I can write this formula this way also because it will be J A angle between these two. And what is the angle between these two? They are in the same direction. So angle will be 0. So cos 0. Cos 0 will be 1. Okay, students. So I can write this current in terms of current density by writing a dot product with area, which means I have created a new concept called current density, which is not scalar, it is vector. So for 1 mark, they will ask current density is scalar or vector. So the answer should be vector. So if current is flowing like this, then this is the formula. But are you done? This part is done. So this much you should know for your board syllabus. For entrance syllabus, you should know this also. Look carefully. For entrance syllabus, every time Suppose current is flowing like this. So if current is flowing like this, where will I take current density vector? I have told current density vector will be taken along current. So current density vector will be here only. If current is flowing this way, current density vector will be here. But students, it is not compulsory that you should always take the imaginary area here. If you take it here, if you take the area like this, then your area vector will be now here. Correct? Na? So some angle theta will come between current density and area vector. So then the formula for current through this area will be JA cos theta. So now you cannot write JA. Now you cannot write JA. Why sir? Because now theta is not 0. Because I have chosen the area like this. It was imaginary area, no? I can take wherever I want. So that depends on the person who is setting the question paper. But for board exam, you should concentrate on this part when the area is kept like this. So if this area is kept like this, theta will be 0. If theta is 0, then this will be 1. Then you will get current density equals to current by area. So this is one thing you should know for your entrance. Another thing you should know for your entrance is J may not be constant everywhere, may not be constant throughout the area. Throughout the area. I will explain the meaning of this, don't worry. I will explain with diagrams, don't worry. But first you understand this concept. If this quantity is not constant, then how to find the current flowing through some area? Then what I have to do, I have to choose a small area first. Small area. First you have to choose a small area. Then multiply that with current density at that area. That will give you a small current. This will give you a small current. Okay, so I'm using basically this formula only. But I am now, what I'm doing is I'm dividing the area into small parts. Why I'm doing like that? Because now this J is not constant, I'm saying. J may not be constant. So if it is not constant everywhere, but what does it mean? I will explain, ma. Just give me 2 minutes time. Let me do the mathematics part first. After doing the mathematics part, I will give you the physical meaning. Don't worry. So if J is not constant, if this number is not constant everywhere on the area, then what we do? We divide the area into small parts. It is like electric flux only. We used to, if electric field is not constant, what we used to do? We used to divide the area into small parts. Remember, right? So in that case, you have to first find small current, and then to find total current, you have to integrate the small current. So integrate J dA cos theta. Okay, students. Now, if your J and theta, if they are constant, you can take it outside. Then integrate dA, you will get this. Now, this is the formula when J is not constant. Okay, when J is not constant. Now, let us try to think. What does it mean, sir, when I say J is not constant? What does it mean? So look here. Look carefully, all of you students. Suppose this is a wire. Suppose this is a wire, and let's say charges are moving like this. So let's say positive charges are moving like this. Now, if you divide this into small areas, if every small area has same current coming out, so here DI current is coming out for this much area DA. So DI current, DI matlab small current. So if small current is coming out through this area, DA area, then what will be current density here? DI current by area. Right? Now what will be here? Let me call that J1. This is 1. Here if I ask 2, it will be some current is coming out DI by dA. So what does it mean when I say current density is constant? Current density constant means every area should have same current. Every small area should have same current. So if every small area contains same current comes out, then we can take J as constant. But sometimes what will happen? Charges will flow in a very complicated fashion. So if this is the pipe, here electrons are concentrated, let's say here. And as you go up, it becomes less concentrated. So if electrons move like this, somehow, let us say, we create some magnetic field, electric field. In later chapters, we will be studying about those things. So if somehow you make electrons flow in this fashion, then you see, if I take this area, number 1, if I take this area, number 2, where is more current coming out? Number 1 or number 2? If electrons are concentrated here. Very good. So everybody is understanding. Very good. So more current will come out here. So more current will be here than here. That means current density here will be current by area. Current density here will be current by area. So you can see if different current comes for same area, then current density will be different. So when I say J is not constant, what does it mean? Through through small areas, if I take here small areas, if different current comes out, then we use this formula. Again, it is only for your entrance, so don't worry. Now, quickly we will consider one concept called Ohm's law. Already I have spoken about Ohm's law in the beginning. Remember, I told if there is a wire, electrons inside, how they are moving? Current flows equally in all directions. No. Once you put battery, current will flow in one direction, ma. Subhas brother, where are you? Once you put battery, current will flow from positive to negative. When there was no battery, that time you are right. So let us concentrate now. If there is no battery, then electrons inside are moving in what direction? All direction. Randomly they are moving. So what was the current? 0. Why it was 0? If 10 electrons are coming like this, 10 electrons will go like this also. So there is no net flow of charge. No net flow of charge, no current. But the moment you put a battery, what you are applying? Potential difference. That potential difference will produce electric field, which will exert force on these electrons, because of which this motion will look like this. Remember, no, I told? So there will be a drift, because of which you will get current. So because of potential difference, V across the conductor. Across means between the ends. Potential, because of this potential difference, so this is the cause, you get current. Effect is current. Okay, so please remember that when you apply potential difference across the conductor, you get current in the conductor. So these two guys are directly proportional. Now usually when you write the proportionality, how I should write? Effect is proportional to cause. Effect is proportional to cause. Yes or no, students? Yes or no? If you increase the cause, the effect will increase. So if I slap my enemy more, he will cry more. Right? It is not ulta. It is not like if he cries more, I will slap him more. Okay. If I slap him, he will cry. If I slap more, he will cry more. It will not be ulta. It's not like if you cry more, I will slap you more. Okay. So effect is proportional to cause all the time. So while writing Ohm's law, you have to say current in the conductor, this is the effect, is directly proportional to potential difference. Okay. So this is your Ohm's law. Now there are some conditions. Some condition is there, and the condition is provided physical conditions are kept constant. So please remember this part. What is Ohm's law? The current in the conductor. Shall I write the statement or no need? Anyone who wants me to write the statement? Those who want, you tell me. Afrin wants me to write. Okay. So look here. Current in a conductor is directly proportional. In exam, write directly proportional to potential difference across the conductor. Then you have to write this part. Provided physical conditions are kept constant. So current in a conductor, and already I have given you the significance of this, why it is like that. When you apply potential difference, there will be electric field. Because of electric field, electrons will feel a force. Because of force, it will accelerate. But why it will not keep on increasing? Why the current will not keep on increasing? Because of the collisions, because of the resistance. Okay, so please make a note of this. Now, when we write a constant here, I equals to, some constant will come, let me write as C. Okay, let me write as C. That C we write as 1 by R. And R is nothing but your resistance. Why we write 1 by R? Because when resistance is more, for same potential difference, if resistance is more, current should be less. So for that purpose, we write this constant as 1 by R. So in books, actually, they don't write this part. Directly, they write this part. Okay. By the way, check once what will happen to current if resistance is 0. What will happen to current if resistance is 0? If resistance is 0, what will happen to current? Infinity. Right? And already I told you that part, that if there were no collisions, the current in the wire would have reached infinite value. So that is explained by Ohm's law also. So if resistance was 0 for same voltage, remember for constant voltage, if you apply some voltage, and if resistance was 0, current will be infinite. So this way we don't write usually, we cross multiply and then we write like this. So this is your famous Ohm's law. Okay, so please remember this formula. Can you tell me which is, because we don't have so much time, so I will not start new topic. So I will interact with you for 2 minutes. Can you tell me who is the partner of this formula in capacitor chapter? In capacitor chapter, who is the partner of this formula? In capacitor chapter, which I did last time. Very good. Q equal to CB, or you can say B equal to Q by C. So this we use for single capacitor. Same way this you use for single resistor, single conductor, or you can say resistor. Okay. Any question for today regarding assignment and all? So please do the assignment. Don't forget the assignment, please. Especially the NEET students must cover, and JEE students also should do that first. After doing the assignment, then you go for higher level problems. Now, just wait for 2 minutes. All those students, when should be submit? Ankita, submission is up to you actually. But the point is, before your next PTE, it is better to submit. Better to submit before your next PTE. Because the questions which I give will be important for your next PTE. So if you do after PTE, there is no use. Okay. Another thing I want to tell you is, those students here who are JEE advanced students, not from AAC branch, those students who are JEE advanced and they are preparing for JEE mains, okay, JEE mains and JEE advanced, please put a message to me today. Just mention to me, sir, I am JEE advanced student, like that, or JEE main student. Okay, my number is there with all of you, I know. So please put it. Now AEC students don't put. My mobile will be full of messages otherwise. So those students who are not from AEC college, please put a message to me saying you are JEE students. Okay. So thank you. We'll stop for today. Take care. And revise. 1 week time will be there. So please revise. Somebody is saying they don't have my number. Please, anyone who doesn't have my number, I don't know how it is possible, because in EduStime parents group, my number is shared with all of you. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Yeah, you can leave the meeting now. Take some snacks or something, rest for some time. No. Nitish, for current cannot be conserved in the sense you can say that total current coming through a point will be equal to total current going out. So in that way, it is conserved, Nitishwar. Okay. Kirti has put my number in Zoom chat only. So Nitishwar, current is not something which is no in a packet or something, right? So I cannot say it is conserved like that. You should have something to say that is conserved. So current conservation is not a very nice way to talk. Okay, conservation of charge is right way to talk. Okay, students, I will leave the meeting. Take care. Okay, Nitishwar, bye.